Hey, welcome back. It's Nolan Mathias from Mortgage 360, and today we're discussing the impact of the new stress test announced by OSFI, and also what I think is probably going to happen in the next week or two with respect to insured mortgages. But before we get into it, and before we discuss exactly what the potential impact is on the Canadian real estate market and what that impact potentially is on you as well, do me that favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and please hit that like button so more people like you can see this video. And don't forget about our race to 10,000 subscribers. We are now at 9,000 subscribers. We're 1,000 subscribers away from giving away a monthly rent or mortgage payment for a month just for subscribing to this channel. When we do hit that mark, wait till you see what the next contest is going to be. I think you are going to be blown away. But I appreciate 4,000 people who have subscribed in the last 28 days. I appreciate the 9,000 people who have subscribed total, each and every one of you. For those of you who haven't subscribed, go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It's free, it's easy, it's definitely worth it. The definitive guide on how to manage your credit, product, penalty, price in that order. It's never been more important to get your mortgage right. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's discuss the stress test that OSFI just announced and discuss what it means potentially for the real estate market and what I think is going to happen probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks with respect to insured mortgages, and ultimately what it means to you and how much it affects you. I'm going to show you exactly how to calculate that near the end of this video. But I want to jump into it by showing you first and foremost recent headlines from today. TD Canada Trust, or I guess it's just TD Bank now, coming out and saying that new housing measures require or risk unintended consequences. And let's talk about this new stress test and the unintended consequences that it could have, because it very well could create a mass rush into the market and fuel the fire and make the housing market even hotter. I'm going to go out there and tell you right now, say right now that yes, this has had an impact on fueling more demand. And we saw it the day after that we made the original stress test video. We saw a huge number of applications that day and over the weekend that followed. Absolutely, people are scared and are getting into the market as fast as they can because of what was basically a press release with respect to a new stress test. And that new stress test, it's just changing the interest rate. It's going back to what the interest rate pretty much was pre-pandemic. But, it still had an impact, and we still saw a ton of people applying for mortgages as a result. So what I want to do in this video is, one, I want to talk about unintended consequences because, yes, it's probably going to fuel the market. And come June 1st, yes, absolutely, we're probably going to see a bunch of people jumping into the market that otherwise wouldn't have because they're afraid that if they don't get in now, they aren't going to be able to get in. And the other thing we're probably going to see is we are probably going to see the federal government follow suit and implement a similar sort of stress test, at least from an interest rate perspective, for insured borrowers. Now, that could be one of a few measures that's implemented in the 2021 budget that's coming out here sometime in the next week or two. We don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but big changes, big policy changes could spur on that market and make it even hotter. So if you're somebody who knows that they're going to get into the market, I would say writing an offer before the federal budget comes out is probably a good idea if you want to not end up in massive competing offer situations. Now, the other thing that I think is going to happen is, or that I hope happens, is I hope that they take another look at this first-time homebuyer incentive, because the first-time homebuyer incentive is something that if they adjusted it could allow first-time homebuyers to get into the market easier. But to this point, the program has been underutilized. It isn't that great. It puts limits on how much you can qualify for. But if they made some tweaks to that and basically created a better grant system for people who are first-time homebuyers, that could potentially help first-time homebuyers get into the market and do a little bit of something to help, get people who are otherwise having difficulty getting into the market actually get into it. So, I think that would be one thing that they should be looking at, is refining that product, that offer that they did a really poor job of when they first implemented it back in, I believe it was 2019, and really make it a program that is worthwhile and something that people want to actually take advantage of. We have to this date not done a single one of those programs because the program just doesn't make a ton of sense. Now, other things that we could potentially see is that tax on foreign buyers. We could see changes to the capital gains tax on investment properties, but for the most part, I think the stress test is going to be the main thing. It's something that is small. It only has about a 4% effect on how much people can purchase. So I think it is probably the best measure and the best thing with respect to trying to quell the market a little bit without going over the top and doing something like TD suggests, which is going too far and creating unintended consequences. So what I want to do is I want to show you exactly how to figure out how much you qualify for before the stress test and after the stress test. And the way to do that is really just to go in and use the My Mortgage Toolbox. I'll link to the description in the description below here. And basically what you do is you open up this app, and if you scroll down, you will see an item called stress test. And this is what basically helps you determine what you qualify for based on the stress test. And what you'll notice is in this top right side here, where I've got my finger, it has stress test rate, and it is already set to 4.79, which is the current stress test amount. Now, what you want to do is you want to go up to the three dots, and you want to click into stress test rule, and you want to basically click all the options that apply to you. So if you're making a purchase, obviously right now the stress test changes that have been made are for uninsured mortgages. They have yet to be implemented for insured mortgages. So you want to basically go in and select all the options for uninsured mortgages. So for example, down payment over 20%, that's an uninsured mortgage. House over $1 million, that's an uninsured mortgage. And then what you want to do is just come back into here, and it will give you all of your numbers for what you qualify for based on the current stress test rate. So if we go in here and we make, average household income around $150,000, what you'll see is your maximum loan amount ends up being in that $631,000 range. Now, if we want to go ahead and we want to figure out what we would qualify under the new stress test rules, what we would do is we simply go back up into these options. We go to stress test rule, we go quoted rate only, and then what we do is we move this rate to the new stress test rate. Sorry, I changed the income. I have to go down here and click down to rate. And what we want to do is we just want to set it to what the new stress test rate is proposed to be, which is 5.25%. And what you'll see is that brings your qualification rate down to 604,110. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a second scenario. So I'm going to go like this, active scenario. I am going to duplicate this. I'm going to go in here and I am going to rename this as stress test example. Going to make it purple. And then I am going to jump back over into here and I'm going to make my interest rate 4.79, done. And now what we can do is we can basically jump back and forth between these two scenarios. So we can go active scenario here, or it's changed to 5.25. We can see that 604,110 is what we'd qualify under the new stress test rules. If we go back and we look at stress test example 4.79, the previous number is 631,902. So if we take 631,902 and we subtract 604, so 639,000 minus 604,000 equals $35,000 difference. We're going to divide it by the original mortgage amount that we qualified for, which was 639,000. And there you can see that we have a difference of about 5.5% in what we qualify for. Or in more specific terms, for somebody who makes $150,000 a year as a family, you qualify for about $35,000 less in mortgage than you did prior to the stress test rules changing and taking effect. So really easy way to go and just basically check out what you qualify for. Again, I'll link to that app in the description below, and you can go ahead and jump in there. Now, one of the things that that we have been promoting the last week or so is our new How to Get the Lowest Interest Rate course. We've designed that for people who don't necessarily want to come to Mortgage 360 to get their mortgage and get the best advice in the industry, if I do say so myself. But maybe they already have their broker, maybe they already have their bank, and they want to know how to get the lowest rate. They want to know how much margin's available for them to negotiate, what things are negotiable, how to negotiate with the bank, how to negotiate with the broker, maybe how to negotiate on a renewal. We put that all together in a course that is priced so inexpensively that if you don't get 10 to 50 times your return back on the amount you invest in that course, I would be absolutely 100% stunned and surprised. One of the suggestions, though, was that we create a contest to perhaps win that course. So what we're going to do is anybody who comments on this video is going to be entered into a contest to win that course. If you go in and you buy it, totally cool. We'll refund you if you end up winning. And all you have to do is put a comment in the comment section below. Comment on anything, whatever you like. Could be cool app, could be nice hair. I'll take any compliments you have. I'll take any criticisms you have as well. And for those of you who want to go ahead and buy the course, I'm going to put a discount code for 50% off the already discounted price. It is going to be stress test. All you have to do is click on the link in the description below, go to the stress test, go to the page, put in the coupon code stress test, and you'll get 50% off the already discounted launch price. So if you found this video useful, do me that favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Please hit that like button so more people like you see this video. Don't forget about our race to 10,000 subscribers. I can't wait to show you what our next contest is going to be after we give away that monthly renter mortgage payment. And we'll see you on the next video. Cheers.